Hey, what's up? I'm Rafael di Furia, aka Rafi D is me, and I am back at it again on another beautiful Friday night. And this week I wanted to do something that I haven't done in a little while and answer multiple questions about Italy all in one video. Some questions that may not necessarily necessitate a fuller, longer video, but a number of questions that I can get to all in one video. But before we get too much deeper, if you would like to see more content like this about moving to Italy, Italian dual citizenship, and living life abroad, please be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on, and if you could also give this video a like and share it with your friends, that would be much appreciated as it does help out the channel. And of course, if you'd like to help out the channel in another way and help make more videos like this possible on a monthly basis, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon, or to help out just one time, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/support. And for shirts, baby onesies, mugs, and more, like posters, you can go to rafaeldifuria.com/NYAG gear for Italy-centric designs. But let's get into the video. So for the first question on my video, where is the best place to apply for Italian citizenship, Jure Sanguinis? From the user Calcio. How can you find out which comune is best? I was going to apply in Milan, but maybe that's a bad idea. And I would agree that that might not be the best idea. From what I've heard, they're supposed to be very particular about the details. And so if you have a complicated family case, or if you have a lot of name changes, that may not be the best place for you to go. But it's hard to say which one is the best, because as I've said in previous videos, I could say one is great today, but tomorrow it's a nightmare. And one of the reasons why I don't specifically talk about great places to go is because I know if I say it in my videos, then that might lead someone to go there, and that might lead more than one person to go there, which might lead too many people to go there. And I don't want to contribute to a situation that was like what happened in Benevento, for example. Just too many were applying there because they heard it was such a great place. There are indications of what could be a better place. The only thing I can really recommend is someone who can help you through the process, who can help you select a comune for you. But if you're doing it on your own, that's a lot of time and research that you need to do, because if I were to tell you something tomorrow, it might not be that case just to begin with, regardless of if people listen to my videos or not. On my video, Renting in Italy, part 2 of how to rent an apartment in Italy, from Natalie 1882. Hello, my husband is going in April to Bolzano and to stay for 3 months. Do you know any website to rent a room for him? He's a dual citizen, Argentinian and Italian. No problem about that. I will go for 2 weeks if everything is okay. We move 100%. I'm not sure I understand exactly what was being asked in this message, other than where to find a room for rent. And I would say what I did, which I would say might be the best thing to do, is just go on to AirBNB. You might be able to find something on booking.com, but these are for sure going to be a bit more expensive, especially because Bolzano is a bit more of a touristy area, and getting around that April time, that's when the tourist season starts to pick up, because it's starting to be springtime and it's starting to be the nicer weather. But depends on when in April you're there. It could still be pretty rainy. It could still be pretty dreary, but it also could be fine. It depends. But like when I was there, it was cold for some days and then really warm on some days. It like went back and forth. On my video, moving to Italy as an American, what would I have done differently? Rose M left 2 comments that I wanted to kind of address in this video. The first one being, do you think that your career choice can make a big difference in terms of your success and happiness in Italy? I would say that's a tricky one, because you could choose a career and not end up in that career path. Like if you're going to school, for example, and you're studying engineering or economics or business, you may not end up in that field, especially depending on your level of Italian. But that's more if you study abroad and then come to Italy with your degree. But then, of course, if you're coming to Italy with a foreign degree, then you may have to get that converted or accepted, or I'm not too sure about that whole thing. But some places may be more picky than others about what degrees are acceptable for what positions. So not only would that make a difference potentially in your success and happiness in Italy, but I think it potentially can make a difference anywhere on earth. I don't think Italy is necessarily any different, but in 2019, almost 2020, it seems as though more and more people are not getting into their original field of study. I know the direction that I was going in school versus what I ended up doing was completely different. And your career choice, I guess, doesn't have to do with what you study. So I think you have to go with what you can do. And I think if you go with what you can do, then that will make the difference. Because if you are, I don't know, a music producer and you are set on only producing music, but you can't produce music because you have no clients, then that's going to be horrible. You're going to have nothing and you're not going to be happy. But if you've got plenty of clients and musicians and people that are coming to you that want your production skills, then yeah, you'll be happy. So it's more about the individual person, what their skills are, how they can market themselves, rather than necessarily what choice of a career they've gone into. Because I think it's more about how you approach it rather than how everybody approaches it. So it's hard to generalize on this one, in my opinion. And then the next question from Rose M. What do you miss about America? It was a huge decision to make such a big move. What was your main motivation? How can you be sure you made the right decision? It was a difficult thing, that's no doubt. For the first few years, it was the most difficult, and it's never really been that I regretted it. It's just the main motivation was just I had been around a lot of different states. I mean, I've actually seen more countries than states now. Like growing up, I saw a lot of the West Coast, and I got a really good feeling for life out there. The East Coast was never really too interesting for me. I mean, I was curious maybe to go to see Atlanta and to spend time in New York, but that's really about it. There wasn't really a big draw or pull to visit or to spend that much time out there. Although there was a period where I thought maybe I'd go to college in New York and live in the village and do that whole thing. But yeah, it's just, there was more interest for me. I found things abroad more interesting than in the States, and it's just that's what was right for me at that moment, and I still do feel as though it is the right thing for me. Will it be the right thing for me in 10 years? Probably. I would assume so. I've had a pretty decent run for this past 10. And what do I miss about America? Shopping, food. I mean, it's really like the prices of things in America for like electronics. Food, though, sometimes I feel like it's much cheaper here in Italy. Other than when you're wanting to go out, maybe actually you could probably get a much better meal for still a lower price out here, but still not cheap. Maybe some friends and a little bit of family, but most of my like kind of closer family, they're either not alive anymore or they no longer live in America anyway. So that's why I haven't even been back, is just because there's not enough of a pull to bring me back. There's not like enough of an interest or a desire. Plus the trip out there, just being stuck in a tin can for like 12 hours and potentially traveling for 36 to get to the West Coast. Yeah, not so exciting to me. I think there's plenty more for me to see within a much shorter distance. But also because it's been so long since I left, my life isn't there anymore. Like if I went back for any reason, it would be basically just as a visitor or starting out new. On my €1 house in Italy, time to move to Italy ? Video, Miss Angela asks, can you tell us what villages they're in and the culture of each? I think Ganji is an art town. So unfortunately, I can't tell you about all of these places. I haven't looked specifically into this town. Each town has its own flavor. And if you asked me, the thing is, even just in Italy in general, but specifically the South in Italy, there's tons and tons and tons of places. So I can't make a list of like 500, 600, 1,000 towns and say specifically what each one is like, because I haven't personally experienced that. I can only say like the places that I've been to, and I haven't personally been to any of these places that have the €1 house initiative going on. But very often these are places that seem to be a bit further out, smaller places with a smaller, older population, generally seeming to be without a train station, and just very much small town out in the country lifestyle. You really have to want to be out there for that sort of thing. If you're looking to have connections to get to cities and cafes and this and that, it's going to be probably a little bit hard to find, because I think a lot of these places aren't that close to major cities or larger cities where you can have that nightlife or go to the cafes and all these things. Some places maybe have a cafe, a coffee bar, maybe a restaurant that closed like 5 years ago. I know of one particular place off the top of my head. I can't think of the name, but I remember specifically that there was one place that someone was telling me about this. Maybe it was in a comment in one of my videos, but I think when it comes to each individual town, it's the type of thing where you really have to go and have that experience there, just with boots on the ground. I mean, at some point though, I really do want to get out to one of these areas, but it's just the thing is, from where I live to get out to the south or to Sicily where these €1 villages are, it's really not cheap. It's quite expensive. I have to fly down there, and unless there was maybe a developer who wanted to sponsor a video like that and who wanted to sponsor a video kind of educating people about that, at this point in time, unfortunately, on my own, I'm not going to be able to make it out there. But anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it off for today. And I hope this helped at least a few of you and answered even some of your own questions. And if you have any other questions for a future video like this, be sure to leave that down in the comment section below here on YouTube. And of course, if you would like to see more content like this about moving to Italy, Italian dual citizenship, and living life abroad, please be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on. And if you could also give this video a like and share it with your friends, that would be much appreciated because it does help out the channel. And if you would like to help out the channel in another way, you can go to rafaeldefuria.com/Patreon to help on a monthly basis, or rafaeldefuria.com/support just to help out one time. And for shirts, baby onesies, mugs, and more, like posters, you can go to rafaeldefuria.com/NYAG gear for items with Italy-centric designs. And I would just like to say another thank you to those of you who've been helping to make these videos possible. I really do truly appreciate it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And as always, I'm Rafael de Furia, aka Rafi D is me. I look forward to seeing you all next Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a great upcoming week. I'll see you all next Friday. Later.